So the sermon title is Thirsty World and a Thirsty Soul. In John chapter 4, Jesus meets a woman at the well. And guess what the name of the well is? Jacob's Well. Jacob's well represented something deeper than the physical water this woman had gone to draw. The well symbolized her tradition and ancestral faith. The tradition and ancestral faith both gave the Samaritan woman identity and religious belonging, a connection to the heritage of her forefathers. It also gave her a sense of community, a sense of belonging. Now, a quote by one of my favorite authors, her name is Brené Brown, and she oftentimes writes on vulnerability, shame, courage, and empathy. And she said this, and I quote, "A deep sense of love and belonging is an irreducible need of all people. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. When those needs are not met, we don't function as we were meant to function. We break, we fall apart, we numb, we ache, we hurt others, we get sick," unquote. A sense of belonging, a sense of community is very important in each and everyone's life. This woman was not just going to Jacob's well that afternoon to fetch water. She was there, perhaps without even realizing it, to satisfy her deepest longing as well. Her connection with her ancestors in worship and tradition, which gave her a sense of this belonging, but more importantly, it also gave her structure. Standing at that well connected her to the faith of those who had come before her, the prayers that had been prayed at the well, the God they sought, and the hope they carried. Friends, isn't it true that sometimes churches like ours feel like that without we even realizing? That oftentimes when we come to church, sometimes our need is a sense of community. We come here to connect with tradition. We come here to connect with culture. And indeed, the responses of this woman, the Samaritan woman, to Jesus did indeed reveal how much she honored her tradition and her roots. Listen to one of her lines to Jesus. "Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well?" John 4, verse 12. "Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you say that the place where people must worship is in Jerusalem." John chapter 4, verse 20. The tradition that she connected with gave her structure, yet what she lacked was true worship, something her religious heritage did not provide, which rendered her spiritually empty, seeking what could satisfy her longing. Not only was she spiritually empty, but she was also socially isolated. You know, coming to the well at noon was not socially common in those days. Oftentimes, people go to fetch water in the morning, and the sheep are then given water in the afternoon. So the morning is when you basically will be meeting a friend to talk to and connect with and find out how they are doing. So for her to choose to go to the well in the afternoon meant something deeper. It meant that perhaps she felt ostracized in the community that she lived in. And in her isolation, she was searching for a solution and fulfillment by marrying 5 husbands. And even her current relationship that she was in was not stable. Indeed, her worship, tradition, and connection to her ancestral heritage did not satisfy her spiritual thirst and the emptiness she felt in her soul. She still searched for spiritual fulfillment and purpose. Friends, sometimes our environment, habits, or relationships often reflect deeper needs or desires. Sometimes people chase success, pleasure, control, or approval when the real hunger is belonging, peace, forgiveness, a deeper yearning in the soul, and a sense of connection to the divine. I listened to one testimony of a lady on Facebook, and she was chasing pleasure. And when she was asked why, she said, because I lacked love growing up. She did not feel a sense of love in her home. So she felt that by chasing pleasure, she could find what was lacking in her soul. The Samaritan woman showed signs of deep spiritual hunger. She had been hanging around wells her entire life, the well of Jacob and the well of the men she married, but she was not satisfied. She drew from all these wells, but her soul remained thirsty. The deepest well dug by human hands cannot satisfy the deepest thirst of the human soul, and this is the metaphor in the story of the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes church can feel like that. We may throughout our lives be attending church, yet our spiritual hunger may not be satisfied. There may be still a sense of lack in our soul, some emptiness that we feel. The programs and activities, the songs that we sing, the beautiful building we sit in, although good, may not still be satisfying our deepest hunger. What do you feel in your soul as you sit and listen to me? What is going on? Do you have that sense of fulfillment in you? Friends, it is only after having a true encounter with Jesus Christ that the soul's hunger is satisfied. It is only after drinking the living water that flows from the fountain of Jesus that the thirst in our souls and in our world can be quenched. Personal transformation begins with true worship. And that is why Jesus said to her, "But the hour is coming, and is now here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeks such as these to worship him." If you are here and you are longing, God is searching for you to have a deeper relationship with you. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 6, it is written, and I quote, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled," unquote. Are you truly thirsty for God? Not the thirst of success, not the thirst for approval, but thirsty for God. Is there a longing in your soul that nothing in this world seems able to satisfy? A quiet ache deep within that makes you wake up in the night? Friends, Jesus is the answer. And be honest with yourself. Have you been trying to quench that thirst with everything except the one who can actually satisfy? Maybe watching Netflix. But yet, filling your life with all these activity or distractions, achievements, relationships may not indeed satisfy our restlessness that we feel within. The truth is this: your soul was created by God, not for temporary things. Your soul was created by God to be satisfied with the eternal God who only gives the living water. And until we all come to him, until we drink deeply from God's presence, from the source, Jesus Christ, that thirst will never go away. It is written in 2 Corinthians 6:2, for he says, in the time of favor I heard you, and the day of salvation I helped you. I tell you now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation, unquote. In conclusion, if you are hearing God nudging you, if you sense that quiet voice stirring your heart, calling you to turn to trust and to surrender, do not resist, because you never know how much time you have. Do not silence that holy whisper. Do not push away the Holy Spirit and the grace that is reaching out to you now. For when God calls, it is not merely a suggestion, it is an invitation to true life. The word of the Lord.